Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome back to another episode of the Life School Masterclass show, a show where we bring different entrepreneurs where they share their story and also share a lot of wisdom around their area of expertise with anything around life and business topics. As usual, I am your host, Alona Lapari, best-selling author, host of the Life School Masterclass show, and also founder and CEO of the Life School, where we help mission-driven entrepreneurs scale to six and seven figures through proven marketing and sales strategies so they don't have to sacrifice their income for their mission. And of course, today I have an amazing, fabulous guest on. As usual, I love all my guests because we get to have so many great connections here. And we're big on community and connection in this community where we will learn more about really stopping the cycle of toxic relationships. I hope again I say your name correctly, Shataun
Yes,
Rogers. Thank you so much
yes.
for coming on and chatting with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about being here and being able to share such a taboo subject because it is a very taboo subject. So I'm very excited to expand on it.
Absolutely. And we are very excited to learn more about it and to actually speak about, something like this that I'm sure that, if you're not finding yourself personally, I'm sure there's other people that we know that might find themselves in these relationships. So let's jump right in. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background, and maybe how did you get started with what you do today?
Basically, again, I'm Shataun Rogers. I am a transformational and relationship life coach. And I was in corporate for 25 plus years. And a lot of the things that I did, there was a lot of mentorship, leadership, facilitator, and, just, how it is, the hustle of corporate. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to hustle like this for corporate, I might as well just, start my own and hustle for myself, instead of working 12 and 15 hours a day, for corporate. And I knew it had to do with women. And, so I joined a coach school and got dual certified, and actually my coaching practice is B3 health and life coaching, which is a mother-daughter coaching practice. So my youngest daughter and I have our practice together, and I wanted to specifically reach this audience of women because I come from a background of a very toxic marriage that I was in for 15 years. And so this really spoke to me, and I kept attracting toxic partners, and I couldn't figure out, why do I keep attracting these toxic men like over and over and over again? And so that's kind of how I ended up, going in that direction, because I saw that there was a huge need and I was not the only one that was, going through that.
Mm, no, absolutely. And I love that you do this with your daughter. That's beautiful. That you get her to kind of help you with this kind of work, and I'm sure she brings in a different aspect and perspective to all the work that you guys do with your clients and with everything you shared. And we have a lot in common as well. I also came from corporate, and I felt the same way. Why should I build the mission and vision for that company for so many years? And accidentally figured out about entrepreneurship and taking this journey, and I said, you know what, let me also try to build my own vision and mission. So
Yeah.
we have the similarity there, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are resonate with that are leaving corporate, and especially after COVID, it's a lot of people that are seeing and heading in the online world to be able to now reach a global audience with
Yeah.
whatever we have as far as platforms and channels, so they can share their message and really,
Yeah.
people that they offer their gifts and their services and then their experience with a certain topic. So I love that you have that similar story as well. So Shaitan, tell us a little bit more about a backstory, as far as what have you discovered. You did mention that you found that you're very frustrated, that you're attracting toxic relationships. So first of all, if someone is maybe in that journey and they are frustrated and they're not happy in their relationship and they are attracting that kind of partner, where should they start? What's the one of those maybe warning signs or the first things that maybe you have personally noticed to look out for?
Well, one of the things that helped me tremendously, I knew that I had a lot of trauma. I had a lot of baggage, as Erica Badu says, put down those bags, and I had a lot of baggage. I had a lot of childhood trauma. I had a lot of trauma. And so I went on a healing journey because I was a repressor. I kept repressing everything. And finally, it wasn't enough room anymore. My body was like, there's no more room for you to repress. It's time to heal. And that's when I noticed the contrast between healing and how things started changing in my life. It's about that energy and what you attract. And if you are not healed and you're constantly attracting the same people, it's because you need to heal. It's trauma. And so when you have that energy on you, you're constantly attracting that same type of person. So that really helped me tremendously to realize that that was going to help my audience. I need to be in a coaching capacity, in a leadership capacity, a beacon of light. Because when I was in that situation, this was like 25 years ago, you didn't hear about toxicity or, any of that. All of that is new terminology. Abuse, yes, but toxicity, you didn't hear about that. So I didn't talk to anybody. I went through it by myself. I didn't talk to my mom. I didn't talk to my family. I was embarrassed. It was shame, blame, guilt. He was emotionally abusive, verbally abusive, mentally abusive. I went through like it was just bad. And I was embarrassed and I didn't want to talk to anybody. And so I provide that, I give that healing that's needed so that they can begin to heal and open up. And once they begin to heal and open up, it attracts a different energy because once I started healing, all of this goodness just started coming my way. And as far as relationships, and the guy that I'm with now, I've been with him for 13 years. We actually met online, and he's been a part of my healing journey, but I had already started before I met him, and he treats me like a queen. Like it just completely changed everything once I went on that healing journey. The healing is imperative to stop attracting that toxicity in your life.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
There goes the transformation, and I love that you said that we always try to look for things on the outside, but at this point it's like really going back inside and doing the heavy work, sometimes trauma and all of that, which is not the funnest things, and a lot of people avoid it, right? And I know through
Mhm.
healing my own personal trauma, not specifically in this area but in other areas, because we all have it, right? No one kind of can come out of life, I feel like, without the way that things affect us and our challenges. And on the other end, once we heal them, we come out on the other side and we get to help other people, which becomes our light. But
Yeah.
unless we go in and do the inner work, you know we can't get there. We can't help ourselves, forget about helping other people as well. So I love that you said that you have to go within and really work on you and figure out what were some of those things that you needed to bring into the awareness first, right? To have that awareness that those are the things and that were affecting you and how they were affecting you, so that through that inner work, now you're able to attract the partner that is actually treating you, as you said, like a queen, and is actually giving you the respect and the dignity and all of those great values that I know keep a very strong, long-term relationships, as I'm in one many years as well. So I totally understand. So let's give the audience maybe some things to look out for. I know you mentioned a few things, but How do we know if we're in a toxic relationship? What are some of those signs to look out for?
A lot of it really it starts, and this is my opinion because I've been in so many toxic relationships. It starts verbally. You start to doubt what you say, you start to doubt what you do. You can never do anything right. You're constantly being attacked. In my case, slowly but surely, no friends. Family wasn't allowed to come to the house. Um, and then on top of that, he was a drunk. Over the years, he started drinking, which made it even worse. But I saw the signs. Like he had a temper in the beginning. Um, but in my mind, I saw potential. And that's one of our biggest mistakes as women. We see somebody and we're like, oh, he's got potential. So I'm just gonna hang in there a little bit because I can bring that out of him. I can fix him. I can change him. I can help save him. And so then we get into this savior complex. And the next thing you know, you're so in it, and you've been through so much in that verbally, emotionally, and mentally, and just trying to hang on there and just try to survive. You find yourself walking on eggshells. You're afraid that if you say the wrong thing, it's going to set them off. If you do the wrong thing, it's going to set them off. And then, of course, all of the I'm sorry's, the next day, the gifts or, the flowers or, it was because you did this or you did that. And if you wouldn't have done that, then I wouldn't have had to, so it builds up. It builds up but the main red flag is that it definitely starts off verbally and you see it and you recognize it. And the reason I say it's such a taboo subject because even now, on my platform, I have a relationship freedom for women Facebook platform. It's been a long time, and it took months and months and months to even build up the trust for them to feel free to even just comment on a post or even like an emoji or put an emoji. It took months. It's still so hidden, and people, women are still embarrassed that they allow themselves to get in there. So the biggest thing is to have support. Don't go through it alone, and that's the main message that I have on my platform all the time. My series is from suffering in silence to fearless and free. So I'm constantly putting signs of toxicity, like you just asked, and different reasons why they stay in it. Fear of being alone, fear of having to start over again, um, just the fear of being embarrassed and what family will say. It's just so many different reasons that women stay in it. So I try to create that safe container so that they feel like they have somebody to talk to because I felt so alone. And that makes it feel even worse when you're suffering. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. You should talk to somebody. The first step is talking to someone.
Yeah. Wow, you said so many things there, and I'll start with the first one, what you said about unless you heal yourself through all of this and you uncover and you bring awareness to this, it feels like you have to save, and you're looking at the positive side. You're saving someone that is actually causing you a lot of other things. So I thought that was really important what you said there. Um, because I know a lot of people go through that when you have the trauma. You just like get attached to the familiar, and familiar could be toxicity. And
Yeah.
you just don't realize that that's different, and you don't even realize why you are being attracted to that. And
Mhm.
I love that you created a safe haven and safe platform. I'm not surprised that it takes a while for people to build up the courage to actually, speak up about it and actually reach out because, you struggle and you suffer in silence because of all those reasons that you mentioned, as far as fear and shame and judgment and all of that. So that's amazing that you have actually created a platform for women to come up and start the process of
Yeah.
healing. I think that's really the beginning steps of just accepting that it happened, and now start the process of healing so that eventually they can come out of the other side and heal themselves, and then now get the courage and the resistance to actually, use this for good, to help other
Yeah.
people and continue to share the message so that, more people come out of these relationships. But I think the most empowering thing is that we can control the healing. We can control that, we can work on ourselves. That's the
Yeah.
great part, because we don't control what happened to us. We don't control our past. We don't control, a lot of other things, but we control, how we handle it and the work that we do within ourselves. So it's beautiful, beautiful work. So, Shatan, give us a little more insight over your process. So, how do you help someone that comes to you that is aware and is build up that courage, would take so much, guts to do, and really start the process of healing? So, through your work, how is it that you help people?
So basically, once they, take that first step toward the transformation, I have I call it the art of taking action session. And it's a free session that they have. And I give them a blank intake form to kind of get a background on, the trauma, relationship status, that whole thing is about 6 or 7 questions. And that is actually the start of the program, whether they, sign up or not. Their healing actually begins in the art of taking action session. And then, so I have 6 pillars for my program. And then there's 2 sessions per program. And so the first pillar is, create a relationship vision. The second pillar is become the one to attract the one, because you have to become the
Mhm.
one to attract the one. The third one is grow into commitment to self, to grow into commitment to love. And then I have the become the one to attract the one, and then create momentum to solidify your love connection. So all of it, it's a process. I wrote the program specifically based around the things that I had gone through. So it's a very personal aspect to it. And then once I do the blank intake form with them, I create a customized program based around what happened in our session. And so each session will be based around that intake form, and just creating a goal. It's a 6 month program. It's every 2 weeks. Is the program, and it's 2 hours a session, between 90 minutes and 2 hours a session. Um, and so I just take them through experiential exercises, things that exercises that work on healing, inner healing, and heart healing. So I touch a lot on that. And then they have homework, but it's just like little fun things, just to keep them involved and to keep them accountable. Because a lot of times when we don't have that accountability, we don't commit. And so the homework kind of keeps them accountable for the 2 weeks that we have in between the sessions.
Mhm.
So it's a process, but it's proven and true. My clients have been very happy with it. I'm very excited about it, and I have some, my testimonies, and all of that good stuff. But
Yeah, you have
um,
the impact. You have the impact. What I love is that you kind of put in a framework together based on your experience of all the things that have helped you. And now you could speed up that process for someone else by
yes,
making people go through that. But of course, the beauty of personalizing it, because everyone is a different phase and stage and awareness and all of that. So I love that you have created that. And it's a big mission to heal people and to help them come through your program there. So kudos to you for that. And it's amazing work that you're doing. I wish you great luck on your mission. I feel like we talk a lot about mission, in this platform where, you have turned your pain, you've turned what you've gone through, and now that's a mission, helping someone else, heal and go through and figure out their own, journey to a healthy relationship in this, and in your capacity of how you help people. So That's definitely beautiful, deep work that you're doing in the world out there with your daughter. So,
Yes.
um, I wish you the best of luck, and I'm so glad that you came up and you actually shared your message with more people that might need to hear it, and that, might hear something that can resonate with them and can actually, have the right support now in place that they can take and start that journey. Shatan, I was going to ask you for a final message. We've reached the end of our show. Before we tell our audience where is it that they can connect with you, do you have a final message that you'd like to leave our audience with?
I do have a final message. Just remember that the healing process is not easy. I will not say that it is. I know when I went through it, there were so many layers. I couldn't believe how many layers it was. Every time I thought, I was healed, it was something else and something else and something else. But when you're unhealed, you build walls. When you're healed, you build doors. That's a huge difference.
I love that. So let's stay with that. No comment. That's a beautiful message. Shatan, thank you so much for everything you share in our show today and with our audience. And as a last thing, where is it that our audience can connect with you and find out about your work and everything that you have to offer? Someone that would
They
like.
can They can go to my website, www.relationshipfreedomforwomen.com. I also have a private Facebook group because, the trust and confidentiality is so important for women that's going through this. So it is a private Facebook page, but it's also called Relationship Freedom for Women. And if they type that in, it can come up and, they can always request to join the group if it's something that they find resonates with them or they're being called to do.
Awesome. So I invite everyone, as I said, that resonates with your message to go and check you out and see about your amazing work. Thank you so much for being on our show today. We have reached the end. Thanks
Thank
again. And
you,
thank you,
Angela, so
everyone.
much.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. And thanks for everything that you shared in your message. And we will see you next Friday on our next show. Just reminding everyone that this show is going to go live in our Facebook group community, Badass Mission Driven Entrepreneurs, YouTube channel, Alone All the Party Life School, and also as a podcast, wherever you find your major platforms or to where you listen to your podcasts. Thank you so much again. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Bye, everyone.